What if I told you that one Indonesian man saved more lives than most armies, fought colonialism with nothing but a pen and stethoscope, and changed the course of his nation's future, all while the world wasn't watching? Meet Dr. Abdul Rivai, the physician who became a revolutionary without ever firing a shot. Born in 1871 in West Sumatra, Abdul Rivai seemed destined for a quiet life. The son of a traditional healer, he could have followed his father's footsteps. Instead, he made an impossible dream come true. He became the first Indonesian to study medicine in Europe. Picture this: a young man from a colonized nation walking into the University of Amsterdam in 1895, surrounded by the very people who ruled his homeland. Yet Rivai didn't just survive, he excelled. But here's where his story becomes extraordinary. While studying medicine by day, Rivai was secretly building a revolution by night. He founded the first Indonesian political organization in Europe, started a newspaper that smuggled anti-colonial ideas back to Indonesia, and began connecting Indonesian students across the continent. His weapon wasn't violence, it was knowledge. He wrote articles exposing the brutal realities of colonial rule. And most dangerously of all, he proved that Indonesians were just as capable as Europeans. The Dutch authorities were terrified of him. They banned his newspaper, tried to revoke his student visa, and when he finally graduated as a doctor in 1908, they refused to let him practice in Indonesia. Banned from his homeland, Rivai made an incredible choice. Instead of staying safely in Europe, he moved to Turkey, then to other parts of Asia, always working as a doctor, always helping the poor, and always writing about freedom. But his greatest impact came through his students and followers. Every Indonesian who studied abroad after 1900 knew his name. Future independence leaders like Muhammad Hatta read his writings. The intellectual foundation of Indonesian nationalism, the very ideas that would eventually drive out the Dutch, were built on frameworks that Rivai created. Think about that. While other heroes fought with swords and guns, Rivai fought with ideas that would outlast any battle. When Indonesia finally achieved independence in 1945, Abdul Rivai had been dead for 9 years. He never saw the free nation he helped create through his writings and activism. He never received medals or monuments. Most Indonesians today have never heard his name. Yet every Indonesian university student, every doctor serving remote villages, every writer criticizing injustice, walks in footsteps that Abdul Rivai first traced in European lecture halls over a century ago. He proved something revolutionary, that the pen truly is mightier than the sword, that education is the ultimate weapon against oppression, and that sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who plant trees whose shade they'll never enjoy. In an age of instant communication and global connectivity, we can barely imagine how isolated and brave Abdul Rivai was. One man in a foreign land, armed only with his intelligence and determination, changing the course of a nation's destiny. The next time you see a doctor, a teacher, or anyone using knowledge to fight injustice, remember Dr. Abdul Rivai, the man who proved that healing minds can be just as powerful as healing bodies.